Hi everybody, today we're going to be talking about Frogspawn coral, which is Euphyllia, and you can see I have a little Frogspawn forest in one of my tanks here, and these corals are really great to have in your aquarium. They grow nicely, assuming you have good water parameters, and they look spectacular. They look like little trees. You can see I have some more, if I just pan over here, growing down below. And once you get these going, it's important to have these corals try to propagate and do well, because they're now in near threatened status, so they're going to become harder and harder to find, I'm afraid. So we want to try to propagate them ourselves in the hobby and not be taking as much natural frog spawn. So these come from the coral triangle in the Indo-Pacific, and just really a beautiful coral. So I'm just going to pan back over here. In fact, I recently just sold $300 to $400 worth to one of my local stores to hopefully help out other aquarists and help to get, buy farmed versions, because we certainly don't want to lose this coral. So for keeping frog spawn, the lighting is important. You want to have mid to high lighting. In the ocean and the coral triangle, these are found between 2 and 25 meters, I've been reading. So they're pretty high up on the coral reef. So you don't want to have them be starved of light. And you can see that these are really green and have a lot of the symbiotic algae, plankton that is growing inside the tube-like structures that they use for food. So you don't need to feed these a whole lot. You can do an occasional feeding with something like cyclopes or reef-roids, the usual plankton type foods. You don't want to overdo it. Maybe once a month, provide a little extra food. But when they're green like this, they're rocking. Now these Frogspawn coral will pack a punch. They can sting. And I've been stung by Frogspawn before, and I can tell you it hurts. It is not something you want to experience. So you do have to be careful. You'll see the pink tips. Those are stinger cells that can do some damage. Now these cells, they'll expand out over the nighttime, and they can extend a lot farther than you think. So you don't want to have them next to something that's sensitive. You can see here that they're all together. I don't have any other corals right next to them. You don't want to overcrowd this coral. That's something you really have to think about if you have a nano aquarium, something like that. These guys can reach out pretty far, and they can do some damage, so keep that in mind. Now I have these pretty low on the tank, but I have the AI Hydro, which is it's a state-of-the-art LED light. It's pumping out a lot of light, so you can see that these are nice and green and doing well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video, and we're going to go to my other tank and kind of show you what the difference is in the lighting and how they look under different lighting conditions. Okay, I'm back to the fish room. Sorry for the noise. I've learned it's very noisy here. And this is a rock that I pulled from my main tank a while back. You can see some glass anemones on it. I'm not too concerned about it. because it's in my back tank. I'll probably zap them later. But here's a frog spawn that you can see the difference here. If you look closely, I'll try to zoom in. Let's see if this works. If I go too far, we'll go out of focus. Hopefully it's not getting blurry. And you can see this coral's a little brown. Doesn't have quite the algae, symbiotic algae that it does in the other tank. And that's because in this tank, I'm running the Aquatic Life Edge Light, which has a far lower par value than the Hydra. So, you know, is this coral going to die? Is it not going to do well? No, it'll do fine. This tank was full of frog spawn about 6 months ago. The only difference here is I feed these corals a lot more because they don't have the symbiotic algae. Is this ideal? No. It's better to have them be nice and green, like in the other tank. But if they look like this, then you know the lighting is not strong enough. So you want to slowly work them up to the top near the light, and you should see improvement. But again, as I say in all my videos, consistency is the most important thing. What you don't want to do is take it from the bottom of the tank and overreact on anybody's videos, including mine, and say, oh, he needs more light or she needs more light, and move it up to the top in one day, and then you have a bleaching effect, which is really stressful on the corals. So, you know, maybe once a week, move it up 2 or 3 inches until you finally get it up near highlighting. And when you acclimate this coral, I'm assuming you're drip acclimating, though that's a whole nother topic. You want to start with lower light, because you don't know generally where it came from or what it's used to. If you have any doubt, start lower in the aquarium, under lower lighting. You don't want it to bleach, that's the bottom line. And then just work it up slowly and everything will be fine. And I'll just give a last shot over here. Here's another one, which I hope you can see. I'm going to zoom back out. And this one's doing fine. This is kind of near the strainer there. And I'll probably feed this in a week or so. I haven't fed these in a while. So that's about it. I can't think of anything else. Usually I think of a lot of stuff after the video. If I do, I'll put some annotations on the video, so look for those. And I hope your tank is doing well, and you're willing to give this coral a try. And like I said, this has become naturally threatened, so try to find it from somebody you know, as opposed to getting, or at least ask if it's farmed. And you know, let's do our part for conservation. All right, hey, I hope you guys are having a great day, and until next time.